everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, so am I. We all are here because it's only the second vlog. My name is Kerry and this is the Kerry Louise edit. Following on from the last video, I began making a fur bag made out of the leftover fabric from the fur coat that I made. Now I've already drafted the pattern, so let's get started. I just want to add a little bit here onto the depth of the bag, just because I do tend to take a lot of stuff out with me. Everything in the kitchen sink pretty much, really. So it needs to be big enough because I want to use this bag quite often. Also as well, even if I wasn't increasing this, I still feel like this just isn't quite long enough. So I'm going to add a little bit to this, make it higher so then we have more depth. And then I'm also going to increase this also to accommodate for the new depth of the bag, because this has got to go wee like this and swing round. But also I need to add even more to make it work, because you need enough room to get your arm through there. Here it is, it's back out again. Part of me is actually quite tempted to not bother adding onto the pattern, but if I ever decide to use it again, or it'd make quite a good block actually, if I'm quite happy with the size and kind of like the dimensions of it all and the length of the strap and all that jazz, then I could just use it again as is if I do update the pattern. Whereas if I don't, and I just kind of add it onto the fabric, you know, just draw the bigger size on there directly onto the fabric, then I'm not going to know, and I'll probably get annoyed with myself in the future potentially. So it's always worth, if you're going to draft a pattern, to get it right. I mean, depending on what you're making as well, it's always a good idea to make a toile, or otherwise known as a mock-up. So it's just a practice, basically a practice run of the garment. I mean, you want to make sure that all the pieces of whatever it is that you're making fits, works. I mean, I'm not going to make a mock-up for this bag because just get your pattern right if you are going to draft your own pattern, and don't be lazy like I can be sometimes, where you don't end up updating the pattern and then you come to it at a later point and then you don't understand why it doesn't fit right, something doesn't work, or something isn't long enough or big enough. Just make notes, to be fair, write notes on the actual pattern itself. That would be, if you're not going to increase the pattern, then that might be a good shout. Microphone, need my microphone. 1 minute. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. As you can see here, got it the right way, yeah. So I've added this much, and I've added 4 centimetres on to this. Because like I said, I take quite a lot of stuff out. It's got to be fit for purpose at the end of the day. So, yeah, this is the strap as well. So, what was that? Anyway, so this is the strap. I've drawn this line here because I think I'm going to do it to here, but I've left this on because I'm a little bit unsure. Surprise. So I've just folded it to death now because I think that is how it's going to be. This is one half of the bag, arm down, and then you want this bit to curl up, and that's going to sit there, like in the middle of the shoulder. So if you hold it like that, that kind of gives you an idea as to whereabouts the rest of the bag's actually going to sit and lie. And I'm quite happy with that, actually. Yeah, I think that's I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy. Noob alert! So I've just been using my microphone. Before doing that last clip, I've just tested it, tested the microphone like 3 times, and then still wasn't sure in the end if it was actually receiving it. And yeah, like, this is supposed to be like here in my phone, not in the charge case. So yeah. Before I start drawing around this, I'm just going to make sure that it will fit in this piece here. I'll try and show you. So this piece here is quite narrow from when I was cutting the fur coat out. So it goes much wider the further down it goes. So and we want to minimize wastage. We quick test. make sure it will fit. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, because it's 23 wide. This is a fold. There's not going to be a seam here because that would be the fold. 23 will bring us to 46 perfectly with a little bit of this left here. So, oh, can you see? Yeah. So that's that. I'm going to get this cut out. Also as well, I'm not going to actually fold the fabric just because it's just a little bit bulky with it being fur. I feel like it's more accurate if you chalk around this here and then flip over like so and then continue. So you still get the same effects, it's exactly the same. It's just a little bit easier and we'll make sure it's just a bit more accurate because just purely down to the bulk of the fur. I have my pattern pieces marked out in the fur now. I'm about to cut them out, so I'm not going to use my shears. I did use my shears to cut the fur on the fur coat that I made, but it's not the best tool to use just purely because it actually you're cutting through the fur for a start. You don't actually want to do that. It's the backing fabric that the fur's attached to really that you want to cut. You're better off using a blade really, either a craft knife or a razor blade is fine. Obviously be extremely careful, make sure you're an adult doing it. This is what I'm going to use. I've put some masking tape around it and then a little bit of sellotape on just to make sure that my fingers are safe and sound at this end. And I'll just show you now, it cuts through really easily. You're not damaging the fur because sometimes it didn't affect the fur coat because I made sure I was extra careful, but it's just better to do it this way. So just take the blade, so if you can see there, oops, where are we? There we go. And you just pull it apart like that. So can you see there? You're not damaging any of the fur at all. You just cut in the back bit, and you end up with like basically barely any mess at all. It's really good actually. So I'm going to carry on and get this finished. I'll try and do close up actually. Let's try and do close up. I wouldn't recommend doing it like this. See how easy that just cuts? I just thought I'd mention before I cut this lining fabric out, I'm going to do it ever so slightly bigger than what I have cut the fur. I'm still going to chalk it the same as the pattern is, but when I come to cutting it out, I'm actually going to do it ever so slightly bigger just because with the fur, no matter, if you've got the right needle, the right tension, the right thread, it could still kind of stretch a little bit. So whereas with this lining, there's no give. From my experience of making the fur coat anyway, there's no give at all in this fabric, whereas there is in the faux fur. So I'm going to cut it ever so slightly bigger just to be more accommodating. It saves me having to recut any more lining out, and we don't want to waste stuff. That is bad. This lining is just gorgeous. I just absolutely love this fabric so much. Now, some of you who already sew, you may already use these, but this is something I just bought quite recently, and honestly, it's been an absolute game changer. These little clips, you see them? Yeah. They're just so handy. You still need pins. In my opinion, you still need pins. You can't not have pins. But then there's just other occasions. You'll see me use these quite a lot in my videos. They're so handy. They make sewing so much easier. I love them. I can't rave about these enough. I think it was either 50 or 100. And I got them from a shop on eBay that sells all sorts of bits and bats. They were so cheap. They were really, really cheap. They were like, I think they were less than £3, and that was with postage as well. And they did come quite quickly. So I definitely think these are worth investing in, especially if you're a beginner, because it just makes everything so much, it makes it quicker and easier basically to get something done. This is cut out. I've already done my other one. Guess what time it is? The sun has just come out. It is absolutely gorgeous. And how beautiful does this look in the sunshine? I'm sorry, I just had to stop and show you. Look at that. It's just stunning. Usually I would recommend ironing your fabric first before cutting it out. This fabric has already previously been ironed from when I made the fur coat. It does, however, have quite a big crease there, but it's not a big deal. It's not going to affect the construction of the bag. It's not going to affect the construction of the bag or anything. So I'm just going to leave it. And also I want to get this bag made. I'm quite excited to see what it looks like, to be honest. I love these so much. These ones in particular that I've got, they are very, very, very strong, which is why I'm using these instead of the pins. That is not moving. Using my trusty, my trusty clips. So to prevent the fabrics from misaligning, because I don't know if you can see really, but the teeth under there, which feed the fabric, the bottom, the underneath fabric will get kind of fed through more than the top layer. So what can happen is this is going along like this, and then the top layer of fabric, you end up with too much, and then they don't meet up at the end.
So what you can do is to just periodically raise the foot and then just pull this gently, not too much, because you don't want to you don't want to ruin the fabric, you don't want to stretch it or anything, but you just pulling it along back through. And I do that probably what I'm having to do with this at the moment is about every 2 inches roughly. I'll do this, lift the foot, pull the underneath fabric, foot back down, and then carry on, and then do that again, roughly every 2 inches. Obviously, you always keep checking, and having your clips as well, handy clips or pins in place will also help keep your fabric all in the right area, all where it should be. Also as well, make sure your needle is always down. This is not an automatic, this is a manual machine. Same goes if you're using a domestic as well. Always make sure that your needle is down, because if it's not and it's raised and then you lift your foot up, it's all going to go all over the place, and then you've lost your place. You'll have to cut your thread, go back to where you were, sort of thing. So yeah, just make sure that your needle's always down. When sewing with fur, something I like to do is I'll just show you. So this is a seam. I'm just about to try and get a bit closer. Okay, so I hope you can see there. So this is the seam along here, and the fabric goes in, the fur, is going into the seam. So what I like to do, I'm try and do this whilst showing it. This is really not a big deal. This is just something I like to do. It's just personal preference, but it's really not a big deal. Is I'll just take something like this, the seam ripper, and you just flick it. So on both sides as well. So one side and the other side. Where are you? Where are we? There we are. Like this. So can you see now how that is sticking up? So I'll show you the difference. So you've got here and then here where I haven't done yet. So it just hides the seam basically. Like I said, not compulsory, but if you want to do it, you can do. Personally, I like to do it.
Hello and welcome to the next day. Unfortunately, my phone battery died last night as I was still sewing the bag. No matter where I needed to put my phone, there was never a plug socket close enough. I didn't have a power bank to hand and my charger lead wasn't long enough. So I decided to press on. So I do apologise. I didn't go too far ahead because there would be no point in that, would there? Because then you can't see the progress. So fear not, darlings, you didn't miss much. Here we are. This is it. So it's got the lining in now. I'll just show you. Here's all the lining. Very pretty. I also decided last night that I wanted to make the straps a bit narrower because I really want to replicate the the leather or PU leather that was wrapped around the top that sits on the shoulder there like that. I quite liked that feature, but I want to do it with like a cream or a white, ideally a cream. So I'm going to see what I can find. I really hope I've got something that I can use. I've also just made the same changes to the pattern as well, just for future reference, because after much deliberation on how to make these meet, I've decided what I'm going to do is open up down there and then the same on the other side, open it out and then sew the two seams together, and then I'm going to top stitch this edge closed because you won't see it obviously because the fur and everything. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This is where I'm up to. That's opened up and the same here is opened up. So let's now get these two edges here sewn down along there. This is where we're up to now. So that's sewn. It just looks like a hot mess right now. You can't really even tell, but if I do this, hey, there we go. So that's what So there's the seam. Let me show you actually. It's gonna annoy me so much. It's just ever so slightly out. Can you see it there? See how ever so slightly those seams don't align. But it's not the end of the world. It's you're not even going to see it. It's really not the end of the world. But I do like to match my seams up. It's always nice if you can do. I certainly won't be repicking that to redo it. I'm not that bothered. So I'm just going to crack on. All I need to do now is get this sewn up here, and then pull it. I'm going to pull it a little bit because I can feel it bunching up. Coming up to a bit of a thick bit now, so I'm just going to help it a little bit. There we go. I'm also going to secure that a little bit as well, because it could be like a stress point. No, and I just broke a needle. Oh, dang it. Oh no. It is now time to sew one of these bad boys on. I need some interfacing, I can't find it, but as I went to look for it, I came across two little patches of denim. I've just made them match. They weren't exactly perfect like this. I don't know why they were in there. I don't know how long they've been there for, but these are going to be perfect, so I'm going to use these because denim is a very good alternative for... Okay, so I'm just going to mark where I want the press stud to go, each side. Where's my chalk? Here it is. Okay, so it's roughly there. That's the middle. And then we want to make sure that we get it right on the other side. Seams are at the side there, flat. And it will actually mark onto the other side. So I don't know if you can see there, but it has actually just made a mark, the chalk, directly into the side. So I'll just go over that and there we go. So here's the middle point on that side. There's the middle point on this side. So I'm going to put the press stud in. I'm going to open this bit up now. Okay, so I've got my mark. There's the centre mark. That's where I want the top of the press stud to be. And I've pinned the denim there on that side. Press studs are on. There we go. Hey, so all I need to do now is go through here, which I'm going to have to make a little bit bigger. And then I can sew that down. And then the bag is technically done, it's just not carried on, where we want something for this bit. So let's get this finished and then we'll see what we can find. Now all that's left to do is sew this hole up in the lining. So that's all sewn up now, and that means, oh wait, loose threads, hang on. And the bag is finished! Yay! Going to end the vlog here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like it, and if you don't want to miss another one, then please hit the subscribe button. Now, I have actually found something to use to wrap around the top of the sleeve on the bag. I hadn't before on that last shot that you've just seen when I was outside wearing the bag, but since I've got home, I've realised I've got something, but it's really late now, so I'm going to add that into the next vlog. And I'd just like to say a huge thank you to all the support that I've had so far. That first vlog is just amazing. All the comments are so lovely. You're all so supportive. I've also had quite a few comments of people asking me to have done an introduction about myself, which in hindsight, yes, I should have done. I should have done it in the first one. And I haven't done it for this one, but I'll add it to the next one. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Kerry Louise edit.